Hello and welcome. Russ Rodgers here with you to show you an easy and fun to play slap bass line that will help get you started on slap bass playing. If you're interested in more detailed instruction in playing slap bass, please check out my Slap Bass Mastery series, which includes many great form and hand conditioning exercises, as well as some really cool bass lines. In this lesson, we'll first go over the right and left hand fingering to get the line down, and then practice it with a play-along audio track at a slow, medium, and fast tempo. All right, get your bass out and tuned up and we'll get started. If you need help tuning up, check out my free video on tuning your bass. Okay, in this slap bass line, we're going to be doing our thumb, pop one, and double thumb combination. If you're interested in working up these techniques in an exercise format, I invite you to check out my Slap Bass Mastery series, which covers these in detail. All right, to start off with, in the first measure, we're going to do a thumb on the 3rd fret of the A string, followed by a pop one on the 2nd beat, 5th fret, 3rd finger, G string. On our 3rd beat, we're going to first do a down thumb of the double thumb on the first half of the beat, followed by an up thumb on the and of 3. And for our 4th beat, we're going to use a pop one on the 5th fret of the G string. All right, so the first measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now measures 2 and 3 are exactly the same as 1. So what I would like to do next is play through the first 3 measures. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, measure 4 in the first 2 beats is just like the previous measures, where we have a thumb on the 3rd fret of the A string and a pop one on the 5th fret of the G string. For our 3rd beat, we take the first finger down a half step to the 2nd fret, which we do a thumb, and followed by a pop one on the 4th fret of the G string. All right, so the 4th measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. In measure 5, we start with a thumb on the 1st fret of the A string, followed by a pop one on the 3rd fret of the G string with the 3rd finger. And on our 3rd beat, we have a double thumb. First, a down thumb on the 1st fret of the A string, followed by an up thumb on the 1st fret. And for our last beat will be a pop one on the 3rd fret of the G string. Measures 6 and 7 are just like measure 5. So again, I will just play through 5, 6, and 7 like I did 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. In our last measure, measure 8, the first 2 beats of 8 are just like 7 and 6, where we have a down thumb on the first, regular thumb on the 1st fret of the A string, followed by a pop one on the 3rd fret of the G string. And then for our 3rd beat, we go back up to the 2nd fret with a thumb. And then for our last note, a pop one on the 4th fret of the G string. So measure 8. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, now the bass line in its entirety. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. Now let's try this line with a slow tempo track. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Let's speed it up a little with a medium tempo track. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Now for the fast track. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I want to thank you for joining me today and hope you enjoyed learning this bass line. Don't forget to check out